task. And SK, once again, out onto the site, but this time don't have the bomb. And not going to be able to sneak the plant down. CLOUD9, 68 health. Surrounded by counter-terrorists. Is going to get the first as Skadoodle goes peeking. Oh, and nothing's gone down too. This is going to get a bit interesting now because Shrew's on only 11 health. He's going to be the next to fall. And now Automatic's going to try and salvage this. And CLOUD9 with the spray. The UMP clutch on point as SK somehow steal a round away from CLOUD9.
Showing you why he's the best player in the world. If you give him a chance, he's going to find a way to punish you. And yes, though, you have to say Cloud9 really did kind of throw that away. That should have been a 3-0, but Cold, he puts it through. Again, SK, they just have that new identity about them with Phelps. I mean, they've always been good at having a deep playbook and being able to change the pace, but with Phelps on board, they've been so aggressive. Like, they've really tended towards that end of the spectrum since they've made this roster change to just really look to move fast, look to get explosive. They have a lot of aggressive prone riflers on the team now with Phelps and FreshNext. They're completely different guys, and so it tends to play to a more aggressive style. And so again, far, every round we've seen, it's been fast-paced action, and this one seems like it won't be too much different as Fur's already in the drop-down room.
Time just up against pistols, which Shroud will connect with a rapid Deagle headshot. Just lays one Brazilian to rest. There's still 4 alive and kicking, and Taco will roundhouse Shroud out of this round at least. Automatic and Skadoodle, the leaning tower of Cloud9 just outside of the window.
Are you saying he's Chuck Norris?
I am. I'm saying that Taco is the Chuck Norris of Counter-Strike.
Do we need to start making Taco jokes instead of Chuck Norris jokes?
Probably, yeah. Just start throwing them in there. Cloud9, though, I mean, really exit frags, maybe best case scenario, that's about it this round.
The boogeyman checks for Taco under his bed.
Indeed he does. Yeah, no save weapons for Cloud9. They're not going to be able to take an AK or anything out of this one. It is going to be SK just taking the 2-2, and Skadoodle and Automatic may be able to hold on to this Kevlar and CZ, which isn't too bad to take out of it, but they're going to have a bye next round anyway.
So SK quickly put a stop to Cloud9, who were having a really excellent start to the game, to be honest. They were actually handling SK's aggression pretty well. But that clutch from CLOUD9 was the catalyst for a quick tie to this first map. Cloud9, though, will be back onto the bye. They will have the option to get Skadoodle and AWP as well, as the armor will also be added to that. No AWP for SK. They're going to have to be AK'd out. Phelps with the UMP. And this is a map, though, where Phelps has kind of just slotted into a lot of FNX's roles. They've made a lot of adjustments on other maps, but on this one, they've really kept Taco on the platform, you know, kept Cold being able to be flexible. For a monster of the drop-down room. And so they've really wanted to kind of keep their strengths in place here on their T side. And that means that Phelps has to take a little bit of a different look, because he's normally been the guy on old teams where he's been able to be focused at rounds like this. So had to make the adjustment. We'll see how it pans out in this round as SK again looking to really put the focus on drop and move quickly.
Looking to put the foot to the jugular of Cloud9. Nothing.
Ooh.
He's going to try and do what he can, but the trade once again going the way of SK Gaming. Now it's B long. That is theirs. Shroud. A very small angle to try and work off. Fallen's already darted past onto the boxes. There is an incendiary in the hands of Automatic, which is going to be thrown out onto the site, which will stop the plant for a few more moments and allow Skadoodle to wrap himself around the side of the statue. Missing the first shot, he will get punished by Fallen's AK-47. And now, looks as though Cloud9 going to be put down once again. It started so well for them, but now it looks like SK are just shifting into a different gear.
Yeah, rollouts onto the B bombs that are so scary. You have to deal with Taco, Fur, and Phelps with their rifles out. That can be overwhelming even to the best of teams. And even to the best of buys. And Cloud9, of course, now going to be very low bought with just upgraded pistols. A great maneuver there from SK. It all came down to Cloud9 trying to do something tricky with a deep push on the long B, and they only traded 1 for 2. That's just not enough in a round like that. Fallen finds the opening pick on the Automatic.
Again, you have to feel like that CLOUD9 play, the 1v4, although take nothing away from him. Great plays. Cloud9 played it atrociously. And they even said in chat afterwards, we threw that. We're throwing
And they're still suffering the consequences.
Of course, definitely. It's going to be in the back of their minds. It's hard to shake something like that off. And SK, of course, we're talking over this round because it's effectively just a full-on anti-eco round. Don't lose a single player, but Cloud9, I mean, they've just got to rinse themselves off of that one, brush it off, don't think about it anymore, get their head back in the game, because with a team like SK, if you have any kind of complacency and any kind of unfocused mind, they will pounce on that, and they will get 8 or 9 rounds before you even know what's hit you.
And even if you get your mentality back, there's no shaking off the economic effect. But
yeah.
Cloud9 will, of course, feel that now. Skadoodle has to glass cannon. They have an AWP in play. He has to make that sacrifice. And SK, they will, again, shift gears. They'll leave Taco alone at B. This time the focus will be controlling the Halls, and Phelps will lead the way. Oh, he sees that on Max to the right, thinks that nade trajectory, and he'll be able to stamp him out. Skadoodle not able to find the follow-up, and A has folded already.
Good news for Cloud9, at least, is that SK haven't just sprinted across to the site. They are playing this one slowly. Nothing Shroud and Stewie in the kind of scenario where I feel stacking together. They're ultimately saying, look, if they come back and push on B, we have crossfires, maybe we can win the round. If they go and plant on A, we can just save us a 3-man and try and hold on to these M4s, because their economy is effectively just 0. They are broken.
Just to stop guns from being saved. Like, everything that they did is what they would do if they were trying to hit the B-bomb site in a 5-on-5 situation. So that was kind of cool.
And well, they're reaping the rewards now with Cloud9. Onto a UMP, few pistols. Actually, has Zeus in there, nothing. Has used the Zeus for quite a while now. Remember when it was super OP as well? He was one of the first guys to pick it up. Automatic has been put down. But hungry for more, Skadoodle. He is going to get saved, courtesy of Stewie's crossfire with the UMP. Now coldzera could be picked off from behind if he's not careful. AK is snuck out there by Skadoodle, but it feels like a drop in the ocean considering the vast difference in firepower that SK are bringing to this fight. And Stewie is the next player to fall. Still loads of time left for SK, for the Brazilians to figure out where they want to push in. Shroud with the Deagle doing what he can, even tapping up through the wall, but it's not enough to dispatch of coldzera. And now the CTs are falling, all or nothing.
SK have just been straight up bodying Cloud9 across these last few rounds. There's not much that Cloud9 have been able to do about it. They have only been able to get together a couple of buys, and SK have just been too brutal. The entry work across the map in the early stages of rounds, even with Phelps being 2 and 3, he still got vital kills at A Halls. Cheeky himself an AK will back away with it, but yeah, it's a small victory in what has been a momentous push through of SK these last 6 rounds.
That's a solid way of putting it. Yeah, sure, nothing gets the Zeus kill. It's pretty cheeky, but that's all. Trying to save his AK. Oh, it's close, but he will keep it. And the match has been paused. The timeout is going to get called by SK, so it is a technical rather than a tactical. Although it could have easily been Cloud9 calling that, because it has been 6 rounds unanswered now for the Brazilians.
Yeah, I think if they lose another full buy like this round, which they're about to have, and I think they're going to go double AWP as well. So I think if this round is a loss, then they'll probably have to start thinking about doing a tactical timeout. Yeah, for sure. Phelps did crash, but he'll be back hopefully very soon, and we'll get this continuing on. But again, SK undefeated on Cobblestone with this 12-0 between online and offline combined. And so far, they're off to a great start on defending that, leaving that untarnished. As ever since Cloud9 lost that clutch to coldzera, they have been really struggling to find much in these rounds. I mean, most of these rounds, SK has survived with 4 or 5 members. So they've been dominant rounds, not even close contests.
Yeah. The only close round that SK have won, of course, was coldzera's clutch. Apart from that, as you highlighted, it's been at least 3 players left alive, which is why their economy is in such good shape, and why Cloud9 have been unable to yield too many solid purchases like this. So, double up setup, as he calls. Let's see if it's going to bode any better for Cloud9. Taco already out onto the B plat. He is an ADR, as you saw from the statistics just before, but he will be the first to be put down by nothing. He was actually top fracking now with that kill, up to 10, even though his team have been struggling. So shout out to him for playing well. He needs the rest of his team to step up and provide the same way.
Taco almost got out of that, but nothing hunts him down. But SK have gotten drop-down room control, so this gives them a new point of entry into this B-bomb site, which is definitely still their focus.
They're going a lot slower than the last few rounds, though. But now that Cold's era has opened up the floodgates, maybe this is the moment to strike. Stewie will miss his shot, nearly put down instantly afterwards. We've mollied and naded out of position. And down he will fall to the hands of Phelps. Nothing. In the meanwhile, with his AK, is still rocking out with the kills. 12 for 5 now he will move to. And his team currently in a player advantage. Fur and Fallen. Open AK in hand, 40 seconds of which to utilize. I'm going to go for the boost on the tree. And this can get them the frag on to Skadoodle. As a call will now come through, there's one on the tree. The smoke is still somewhat giving the advantage to Fur as he can come round here. He goes for the second spray and actually lands it onto nothing. Cloud9 in another round, they should be winning. We're on the brink of losing this one. Automatic's going to have the positional advantage though, as he whips out this USP and Automatic with a hell of a clutch. Catching SK as they were dazed and confused.
So
and
smart.
Cloud9 pick up another one.
Had a lot of trigger discipline there. He could have easily popped Fur off the tree for a moment, but he was kind of waiting around, waiting for the perfect moment to actually ring out the bullets and give his position away. He wanted to make sure he had both the kills lined up as best as he could, and the patience pays off. He finally puts around on the board for C9. It's been a little bit of a drought the past 6 rounds, but now they get it. And Fallen, here's the 3 smoke setup. It's the classic threat approach. Smokes will come from middle. This means they could still do a B hit, but it also puts them in position to quickly shuffle to middle if they had wanted to. This time around, it'll be the version that is going to straight up be executed as Taco leads the way. A lot of damage to Stewie already.
Yeah, he's been entering like a complete boss in this game. Nothing has been able to match him though, stride for stride. The kill, and a pretty clean one at that too, with the FAMAS is able to go for the reload, and now, again, it's Fallen and Fur. The last time they dug their way back into the round somehow, someway before being cancelled by Automatic. And that molly is going to tag Fur a few times, and, well, Shroud didn't know what hit him. He's going to go down. That nade could have damage written all over it, but goes a little bit too deep. Stewie's not going to be deterred by that one.
Did he get hit
the
for
1
one?
HP monster is still there. Lands the frag, but Fur comes straight back with one of his own. The bomb's dropped out on B platform. And Automatic has spotted that, so now the position of Fur is so tenuous. He has no nades to cordon off one of these areas. He's desperate for a smoke to put down and be long and just take this bomb. But instead, he's able to salvage it, but he's moving towards Automatic. He's going to be peeking around the corner and will shoot him in the side of the head. Unfortunate timing for SK, but Cloud9 just about to escape again.
The crazy detail there is Taco spammed Stewie down to 2 HP when he was inside Chicken Coop, and then that nade that got thrown literally did 1 damage, which left Stewie alive long enough to fit in one more op frag before going down and giving his team the 2v1 against Fur. That's actually crazy when you think about it.
I mean, that is the difference between a potential 1 round and a lost one, right? It's pretty unreal. SK aggressive into drop zone again. Doesn't start well, but Cold Zero's right back with another kill before Skadoodle from the doors is going to rain down havoc with 2 up frags. So huge, so vital to keep Cloud9 in this round and keep their economy going through. Because they've lost so many players these last couple of rounds, it just takes 1 loss, they're back into an eco. And SK know it, they can sense the blood in the water. They're looking to strike. Fur in first. So many angles for him to cover off. He had no idea where the bullets were spraying him from. There's nothing that chimed in for the last shot to put him down. Taco with 1 has 3 more to find. To make matters worse, he's getting flanked by Stewie's AWP. Cloud9 with another one.
The shift to the double AWP setup from Cloud9 has been fruitful. They've won all the rounds since they've done that. And the AWPs have been the guns that have had a lot of impact in these rounds that Cloud9 have now closed out, as they've put 3 in a row on the board, and they're inching very close to tying this thing up, and they're draining the war chest of SK. Yes, SK had the 6-round streak and a lot of comfortable wins to make sure they had a lot of money stored up, but now they're starting to run dry on all of those funds. They need to start putting victories together here, or they will be forced to save. And that's where Cloud9 perhaps could even take a lead for themselves. despite the troublesome start. As SK again looking to put a lot of the focus on the B side of the map. That's been kind of their bread and butter in this game.
Just see there from the angle, the observer's showing us the Fallen nothing, just a wall away from one another. Matter of a meter or so. Fallen tries to capitalize on the pixel that he spots and does get on the second time of asking. Big kill by Fallen, will be traded straight back though by Cloud9. Again, it's drop zone, which has been the central focal point of SK's strategical play. But this time it seems like Cloud9 have finally started to realize exactly what needs to be done to repel it, to counter it. And that's playing more passive. They haven't played in drop as much. Just playing out towards the rock, playing out from where Shroud is currently. That's been working well for them. Doesn't really hurt that nothing's on 15 and 7. Make that 16 and 7. And he's gone through each and every player that stood up against him. He is on a tear, winding back the years. What a performance by Jordan in this map so far.
Absolutely. He's been great throughout this tournament, which is a saving grace for Cloud9 as they struggle in some other areas at times. And you really hit the nail on the head. Managing drop-down room better has been a key for Cloud9, other than the double op also just having an impact. Nothing's presence on platform has allowed Shroud to play that tricky little angle next to tree, which is a really good holding point to stop people from being able to make their way out of drop-down room. He's won now a couple of duels against Fur early on in rounds to really stop that from being another route in for SK. And they've done it. They've tied up the game, and now they're looking to take the lead. As Stewie gonna be want to take down Fur. Fur's had a tough time lately. He had a really hot start. I mean, his frags are actually way up there. He's 11 and 10, but the last few rounds here, he's been shut down. And that's big if you can do that if you're Cloud9, because Fur is such a playmaker, and drop-down room is usually his stomping grounds. He's one of the best drop-down room players in the game, and neutralizing him is huge.
Definitely feel like he was one of the key components of SK's victories earlier on, and it looked like Cloud9 were just going to be barreled over. Full credit to them. They've won the last 4 rounds in a row, and SK are in trouble here in this one. Sure, they only have a 1-player deficit, but just 2 smokes to play with here on the potential take on B. Flashes out with Molly's trying to take control of a B plat, but once again, it's a passive defense. Nothing can't get the kills this time around, but does do a lot of damage, and Shroud's going to pick up what he already left off. Nothing has got himself 2 assists alongside Shroud. And now Stewie is going to wall bang onto Phelps. And Coldzera in another 1 and 4. And it's difficult to see how Cloud9 let history repeat itself. Surely lightning will not strike twice, and Stewie, with a pretty brisk flick, will get the lead for Cloud9 once more.
He was having a really tough start to this game, but ever since he's got the AWP in his hands, he's had several multi-frag rounds in that B bomb site. I think he's had at least a frag around since he's had the AWP, so definitely good to get him back to the mix. He's one of the key pieces for Cloud9, so him waking up in the grand finals, thanks to the shift in what Cloud9 were working with, has been huge, and now they have a lead. Haven't had one in quite a while. And now SK are finally really low. Like, they have to go Galil, UMP, and Tech9. The only AK is in the hands of Phelps, as he will be again lurking out towards middle, but I would imagine they're going to need that AK to help drive into B, so they'll pull him off of mid pretty early on and get him involved soon.
The worry for Cloud9 here, though, is they have 2 orbs, so if you do start to see those Tech9s and Galils get up in the face of Cloud9, this is where the double orb setup can really actually work against you.
Yeah.
So Cloud9, sure, they have the superior firepower, but all it takes is 1 or 2 kills for SK, and this round can quickly get out of control.
Now, Stewie's playing chicken coop, though, so he's not on platform, so those Tech9s are going to have a hard time closing the distance on him. This is a really big thing here. But they might be able to chase down nothing or something like that. And Shroud also, of course, has a lot to worry about between bouncing back between window and rock. And SK will get drop down room. But again, Shroud's done well to play outside of it and still hold them back from getting much map control from it.
This is where Chicken Coop could be so vitally important for Cloud9. Shroud, only the 1 kill. As Stewie is still alive for a little while longer, is going to miss out on that first shot and the second. And this is where expecting a tease to tighten the noose around his neck. But how is he still able to come out swinging with kills? And there's so much damage been inflicted onto SK. But even though Cloud9 have won the last 5 rounds because consistently SK have taken down frags. Nothing has no money left. Scoodle may not want to go for this one. Even though we can see the health on SK is so damn low, I think he's realized I can't really afford to go for this. The risk versus reward's not worth it. He's going to get caught from coldzera, who will trade out to the AWP. And now SK realizing, okay, we don't want double AWP on our T side, goes back for the AK. So it's just going to be the one AWP, but still, 7-7.
Yeah, AWP on T-side Cobblestone is very rare. The only teams that really run it consistently is probably G2, maybe Mouse Sports to a degree used to, but it's just not something that really makes that much sense for most teams. And so SK, like you noted, will get rid of that. Just have the one for Fallen and AKs across the board for everyone else. And SK, again, have really focused on this B side. They've done a lot of 1-4-B. That's been the case ever since even the middle of last year. Want to make sure they can put the pressure on early. Fallen trying to spam through with the AWP. Stewie has a different position this time. He will play in that cubby. Now, there's plenty of Molotovs, though, to clear him out. Force him back into the site. This time, Fallen goes drop with the AWP. He's going to find the kill on the Shroud. There's the adjustment, putting an op down there instead of first rifle.
Needs some backup. I love that they're going for the
like
boost back in again. Yep, it's going to keep Cloud9 on their tiptoes. They're going to think, okay, we can't afford to peek because Fallen's in drop zone. He can take us out from B plat side, and now Fallen's going to come in and change the angle onto Stewie. And this is super patient, but they're going to be throwing Molotovs. Stewie can see that's not going to bother him too much as he jumps away. But I love the setup from SK. Didn't quite pay off for them, but they're still in such a good position. Now they've taken B plat control, they can just force their way out and try and get up into the face of Cloud9 once more. And indeed they shall. Stewie's going to fall down. B completely ripe for the taking. Of course, the last round of the half, so Cloud9 are going to go for this one. But they'll be doing so with a player disadvantage and no kits to boot.
Yeah, and Potako has such a great forward position on the door. Thanks to these smoke grenades, that means that Cloud9 are going to have a harder time trying to break through when you have to deal with Taco at close corner on top of taking long-range fights against the rest of the members of SK, the 3 Fs of SK, so to speak. They're in the back line. But here goes Cloud9 trying their damnedest to get in. No kit.
And no chance. Not anymore, unless Automatic can pull off quite the miracle. The rabbit needs to come out the hat, needs to come out quickly. He got close. They're just one too many players. We'll see 8-7. And again, you've just got to highlight nothing. 17.8 efficacy with 123 ADR. That is, I mean, that's not a performance you've seen from nothing in quite a while. Very well played indeed.
Really well done. As great resurgence from Cloud9 to get those 5 rounds and at least get back into the half. It was looking like a very one-sided affair when you saw SK popping off those 6 rounds off the back of the clutch from Cold, but Cloud9 hang in there and make it a tight race in this grand final map 1. And while you're waiting for the second half to start, make sure you get in on the giveaway. Again, giving away a iBuyPower Revolt PC, Logitech gear, as well as an Asus monitor. Over $2 grand valued on that grand prize, so be sure to click the graphic down below to get involved, as well as all the mouse mats are up for grabs as well, 250 to be exact, going to be given out throughout the event. Some have gone, but there's still some available, so be sure to get in on that. We appreciate all of you for tuning in. Again, be sure to give your feedback to Subaru using the hashtag Subaru Invitational. Let them know what you think about the tournament. Let them know how else you'd like to see them get involved in the space. It's cool to see non-endemics get in here and experiment with esports, and they're interested in doing more, so be sure to give them a shout as we kick off this second pistol round, Metis.
Yeah, SK, just a narrow lead. Really anybody's map at this stage, but you feel like SK probably should start to go through the motions a little bit. As well as nothing played in that first half, it's hard to see him really do the same kind of impact in the second one when he has to play more of an aggressive role, can't be the pivot, the turret that he was in the first. coldzera between rock and a hard place, quite literally, and Skadoodle will just put him out of his misery, really. It's a position that can work so well in the right circumstances, but not when he's being forced down from drop zone. And the blink of an eye, 4 players fall for SK, and Fur and a USP, all that stands. And considering just the insurmountable odds, maybe he's just holding on to that Kevlar is not a terrible idea. Allows him to get a bit of a healthier buy in the next round.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, why not? You're probably going to pistol armor in the next round anyway, so at least now you don't have to buy the armor. And so Cloud9 will immediately tie up this game off the back of the pistol in the second half, and so we have a very close game on our hands. Exactly what you'd want in the grand final, as Cloud9 are the ones that speed things through there on B, and you'll probably see them play fast-paced most of the game. Again, they have always been known to be fairly aggressive, and of course that pistol was no exception to the rule as they get the clean sweep. Could have been a team ace, it's just Fur didn't allow Shroud even an opportunity to go for it.
Yeah, and of course people are going to be like, oh, he's saving his Kevlar. This affords him a chance to actually get the UMP because he can go for the head armor for a cheaper price. He didn't lose any of his armor. So now they have a UMP and Kevlar as opposed to just pistols. I mean, that's quite a significant improvement. It's exactly the reason he went for that save in the first place. Now, whether it'll work out or not, it's an entirely different story altogether. We'll have to wait and see. As Cloud9 looking to maybe return the favor with some heavy drop presence.
We are seeing a lot of focus here by Cloud9. The smoke is kind of in their face. They're supposed to make sure that there's no counter boost going on. Anyone just kind of holding the angle, making sure that they're forced to drop back down through. Nothing in Skadoodle. Have a bit of a mid hold here, just making sure there's no aggression going on at long or something like that. As they will now begin to group up. Cold looking to challenge directly here. Does have that CZ. It can be dangerous. The Molotovs, though, will force him out. And Cloud9 will now be able to claim their prize of getting drop down room. Still taking it pretty slow, though. Don't want to give a chance at something going awry.
You can already see the difference in styles between SK and Cloud9. SK were lightning fast in their drop plays. They were already out on the site by this time, or at least trying to, whereas Cloud9 much more slow, methodical, careful, using those flashbangs, scene effect at the headshot instantly from Stewie 2K. Fur could get knifed if he's not careful. You can actually see he is being flanked from a player with his knife out, but fortunately for him, he was finished off by USP instead. Regardless, Cloud9 will take the lead.
Yes, probably a bit disappointed Stu didn't let him have that. As it will be Cloud9 taking a lead back here. Again, it's been some time since they've had it.
And full USPs as well, so you're looking at Cloud9 to take 2-round leads. I expect to see a lot of teams actually do go for like a stack or something here, but instead SK are positioning 2 players high up mid so they can flank around the back of Cloud9 as soon as the call comes through. No reason to save, of course, here. They don't have Kevlars or anything, so it will just be an all-out retake. And it's very much like Mosquitoes hitting a windshield. You're expecting Cloud9 to just breeze through them, but
Com apenas de USPs e sem colete nenhum jogador está forçado.
Down to 18. This is where the guillotine should fall, though. And SK will be bowing out, and Cloud9 take the 2-round lead.
Like you noted, the full USP save in effect here this round, so it will be the clean sweep 3-0 to kick off the second half for C9. They've actually won both pistols, and they had the 2-0 start in the first half. It was just the cold clutch that stopped them from getting the clean sweep to kick things off. So good on Cloud9 to find the pistols. That really has been a difference maker to have them get the lead. Immediate double AWP setup from SK Gaming. So good on Cloud9 to find
Exatamente, agora a SK vai vir armadona e pronta pra
vantagem aí. Só vamos. Se a SK conseguir levar este round, ó, o armamento da Cloud9 ainda está muito forte, a economia deles. Eles estão todos com mais de 5.000. Se eles perderem este round, eles terão dinheiro para fazer mais um armado, só que eles não podem vacilar muito, eles não têm dinheiro eterno, enquanto o Taquinho já leva o round e o gol de...
Homenagem a você que virou sub.
Unless they can get their hands on both orbs, it's still going to really hurt them, and Fallen uncharacteristically misses that op shot. One that you'd expect him to land in there as the headshot onto Fur. And Stewie puts it right between his eyes. There is the issue as well with going for double up setups. It does put a lot of your players down onto the likes of Headless Kevlar, Fallen, and his AWP. Realistically, chances are so slim. He's gonna fake the bomb, try and draw out one of these terrorists into the open. He will find a Skadoodle, but will be put down for his efforts. 11-8. Cloud9 looking good.
Especially since SK now has to probably take a save here to make sure that there's nothing you would say next round. Sure, there could be some forcing going on here, and maybe you will see an upgraded pistol or two shouldn't see that much. They'll probably just calculate what they can afford to put into this without hamstringing themselves into the next round. So Cloud9 will have a great chance to find a 12th. You always gotta wonder about falling with the scout, though. Just something about him and the scout that just work together. Nothing will hold him off at the pass, though, at long A, forcing him to retreat. So no early damage being dealt this time around.
Very low investment into this round for SK. They do have the kind of weaponry, though, that Cloud9 need to be very careful of. And again, I'm expecting to see more of a respectful push as opposed to an all-out brawl. Coldzera is thinking about that potential boost, and if he comes out at the right time, Automatic's a dead man. He actually has an ADA right here, right now. Oh no, Automatic! His life flashed before his eyes, pardon me, and that very nearly was the end of him. That would have been a tilting moment. Instead, though, SK get the trade anyway, in much more favourable positions for Cloud9. And it's gone from bad to worse as now SK are starting to fall like flies. Still landing headshots and doing significant damage, though, to their adversaries of Cloud9. Skadoodle's going to land another one, and that's down to Fur. He has a max 7. He's coming out into the open. Doesn't have Kevlar, but both players are very low. Just takes a couple of shells here, and they are going to fall down. Skadoodle, off angle, connects onto him. Cloud9 with a 4-round lead now. They're unbeaten on their T-half.
Skadoodle and Shroud, the saviors for Cloud9 in that round, though, because that looked really rough at first, because those first battles at drop-down room went SK. They had a 5-on-3. Shroud, though, able to come out for a couple of kills on the platform, and Skadoodle has the hat trick, so a full house from Shroud and Skadoodle secure another round, get them by the low buy of SK, but SK back onto double op again. Taco totes the second op now since Colt's taken over drop-down room duties in place of FNX, and Phelps gets to play over here on B with Taco. And last time around, the double op did not really pan out for SK, but they'll give it another go. Cloud9 do make an adjustment this round. They move away from the B-centric focus to actually putting all 5 over here towards the A side.
Yeah, it does feel like pretty much all but maybe one round have been on the B side for both teams here.
Yeah, that's true.
One of the first times that we've seen A hit fully. And he's up on the headshot wall. He's going to try and do what he can with the M4. Goes down. The flashes are consistently landing in and forcing Fallen into a much closer angle. It's not going to help for his AWP and gets picked off from behind. Automatic will execute him out. Shroud goes down to the hands of Phelps. Coldzera previously did pick himself up a kill. He's not going to get any more from the side. And now with 53 seconds left, the bomb is still transitioning across to the site. It's a little bit slow, but it really doesn't matter because SK are just dropping all over the place. It's all on Taco. And again, in this situation, probably wants to save. Cloud9 are just bossing SK.
They've yet to drop around in the second half. They're really dominating. The shift to A works out well. I feel like they caught Fur in awkward space there. He was never really able to get back into a good position. When mid-slope was taken, he was just kind of stuck there. And then Fallen, still had the op at long A. It felt like those two were a bit disjointed, which is rare because they've been playing together on the site for so long. But that round, something kind of broke down in the communication. That or they just didn't expect Cloud9 to get up slope that quickly. Either way, they get caught out, and Cloud9 extend that lead to 13 now. They're 6 up. 5 up, I mean. Math, of course, difficult. Dealing with single-digit numbers.
It's all good. It's all good. Either way, whether it's 5, whether it's 6, SK unable to win a single CT round. Backs against the wall. Their choice of map, remember, as well. And next up is Train for Cloud9. So SK getting a bit hot under the collar. Of course, they've been here so many times before, and they always seemingly bring it back from the ashes. There's no doubting that Cloud9 have a huge chance, a huge opportunity to take this map now.
Gonna see Phelps boosted up on tree. First time SK's used this position. Really didn't see Cloud9 ever use it on the CT side either, so when you've played this many rounds of CS and tree's never really been in the picture, it definitely could catch out Cloud9. And in a situation where you don't have the idealist of buys, something gimmicky like that certainly can tilt the balance. We do see Cloud9 go back to their basic default. Taking it cautiously. Automatic knows that CLOUD9 has tried this boost before, so he's definitely making sure it's not going to come into play this time around.
A lot of utility expended there, Dust, on a fake. They wanted to make SK believe that they just taken full control over drop, whereas actually the bomb is making a move over on the A side. Keep in mind there's still 40 plus seconds left. They can go for another rotation. This could be a double fake ultimately, and with Automatic already out on B long, this has been a success. They've got 3 players on A. They're biting down on this really hard, SK. They're assuming this is going to be an A hit, and nothing is keeping them interested.
Yeah, the fact that CLOUD9 hasn't thrown a fake yet is really playing with them, and the fact that they have a low buy makes them feel the need to rotate even more than maybe they normally would, and CLOUD9 full capitalization of that. As you said, nothing gets to kill on A. Everything is absolutely crumbling for SK. What a well-designed round from CLOUD9, and SK, they bid on all of it, and they're going to suffer the consequences.
Such a huge call by CLOUD9. The double fake working perfectly. I think it's one of those kind of situations as well where you just kind of wing it and see how it goes. If they get the entry initially on Fur, they'd probably just all-out push A, but because it slowed down a little bit, because there was a counter smoke thrown in mid, they're like, okay guys, let's think about this. We've got time. For all we know, SK have over-rotated, which of course they had. We just go straight back to the other site. It worked a charm.
And again, it goes back to the fact that CLOUD9, it's not like they double fake that often, you know what I mean? They haven't done it this game, surely, so SK think they have a good read on the situation, and CLOUD9 use that to their advantage. It all comes down again to those mind games, and now CLOUD9 very near map point. As again, SK are stuck on these force buy type situations, not having all that they would like to have. I think Automatic's heard this jumping around on the wood. That's why he's putting the Molotov down, and he's gonna find the headshot. Great read from him.
No, there's no stilts in Counter-Strike, so he knows there's another player around drop. And he's found his man, but Phelps will come out ahead. So SK maintain the player advantage. Solid work again, though, for all the early confrontation and bloodshed. There's still so much time on the board that SK can't really rest. They can't assume that it's going to be the B hit. They've got 3 players strong here. Fallen will get the drop very fortunately from his perspective as Chewy was looking to his right-hand side in the hay bales. That's going to get him the free kill. And now CLOUD9 are forced into a more aggressive push. Right down mid. Spray through the wood. If nothing else, it's going to screw with the focus of Shroud. So well in this map. He's 28 and 13 now. He gets put down from Phelps. And Shroud on the cross is looking for a headshot. Gets the spray. He'll take that instead. Has control of the bomb. Seems to think someone's long now. There was before, but that is Fallen who's made a move all the way around the side of mid.
Yep. Crowd did see him though, so
Definitely
now he knows what he's up against.
Yeah. There's 2 angles, and that is so smart by Taco. The call came through, sprayed through the wood. If nothing else, it's gonna screw with the focus of Shroud, and SK do just about hold on for dear life.
Yeah, it's crazy. Nothing put so much focus on spamming the fence, thinking Fallen might be there with the Mag 7 that he really just threw caution to the wind on any other position and gets punished for it. He actually had a chance to reel that back in. If he just focuses on door and crosses into sight and gets the bomb planted, maybe they have a chance there, but he felt like he had the read on Fallen. He was a little bit off, and despite the fact that Fallen only gets 1 kill in the round, he causes the death of 2 other players basically by, you know, giving that sense of fear that he would be right around the corner. And then he even just kept, you know, Shroud distracted at the middle slope, so finding ways to have use outside of just fragging. But as CLOUD9 still onto a nice, comfortable full buy, Phelps looking to get risky here.
I thought that was going to work when the original spray came through from Taco. They wouldn't expect a second player to be up in their face, but the trade has just simply not worked out for them. Both their B-long defenders, or aggressors in this case, they're both so quick to push in, has meant SK have now got to be so thinly packed across the map. CLOUD9 is going to go for 1 and a second. That is massive for SK. This now brings them back into a much more comfortable position. And meanwhile, Thurt is flanking his way round the side. He's going to walk straight into Shroud, who lands the headshot. Another key moment in this round. And again, this is where they can play the mind games. They're assuming at least 1 SK member will go across to A. And in doing so, they may just bunch together and push B instead. Very slow push at that. CLOUD9 still out on B. Just hiding in a smoke, and see there 3 smokes put down. You wonder if that's bugged, actually. I think that may very well be bugged. Here they come through. 18 seconds left. coldzera spots himself a player, converts into a frag, and now Cloud9 only have 12 seconds. They've got to go through for this one. coldzera could be about to pull off another masterpiece. There's another one. He's on for the 8th, actually. He's got a 4K so far. And Stewie's forced down to the open. Oh no! Stewie's got the clutch with 3 seconds. SK line up, and they get the sausage. Stewie, 4K, 15-9. Cloud9 on the brink of taking that one.
That is so crazy. It comes down to that moment. Just 3 seconds separates map point from Cloud9 and SK getting to double digits and holding them off just a bit longer. It's all comes down to the Stewie 2K lineup. You described it perfectly. Not much more I can add to it. All that's really the focus now is whether or not SK with an even lower buy are going to be able to stick around in this map. This was their pick. We talked about how it was common ground though, and Cloud9 have proven that and some. They have a great lead now, and with the buy that they have and what SK has to work with, they are in great position to get the 1-0 series lead and move on to their pick of Train. Again, Cloud9 with the slow opening.
Dude, he must be wondering what the hell else do I have to do? I got a 4K, like from separate angles, effectively winning all the trades that they put up against me. We still lose, of course. I mean, that's just got to hurt. Deep in the fields. And as you highlighted, Dust, SK, I mean, they're onto nothing. They have such a little amount invested into this round because that's all they had. It's all the money they had in the world.
And the form just hasn't been there like it has been for Cloud9 when it comes to winning duels on a consistent basis. As Cloud9 now looking to finish the job, knocking on the door of that B-bomb site. Phelps up close, does at least get one out of this. And they are winning all the trades, actually. They come out on top.
Problem for Fallen, though, is he's all by himself. He's bully no mates out on the site. He's still got to wait quite a while before Fur is able to rotate himself all the way around the back. He's getting closer and closer, though. Every second, the automatic waste is another one where Fur starts to get brought into the play. Skadoodle, 20 seconds left. This is doable for SK. They've already broken the hearts of Cloud9 of SK a couple
E
times.
aí, galera, seja bem-vindo a mais vídeo do canal.
And SK will salvage one
E hoje vamos falar tema
of
muito
another needed
importante.
5 rounds for them to get
So
back into
crazy. It
overtime.
comes down to that moment. Just 3 seconds separates map point from Cloud9 and SK. So Fur on the flank keeps SK alive for a bit longer. They're even able to carry over an AK-47 from that round, so that gives them a little bit more firepower. And every penny counts for SK as they have to march forward 5 more rounds of force in overtime, and obviously funds are low given how things have played out. We're going to see some aggression from SK all across the map, and Shroud absolutely demolishes Phelps as he was going for the peek under long B. Fallen also looking for a pick with AWP out long, but he's not going to find anything because everyone from C9 has shuffled through Dragon Lore over towards this B side of the map. They know they have the man advantage here.
Certainly do. You can see that SK trying to spam their way through the smoke, see if they can get a bit fortunate with a few heads lining up. Not going to be happening
SK
just yet, just chunking away 25 health with 3 players.
Longer.
That's not enough to
It's
really
all
deter
comes
this
down to
push.
the Stewie 2K lineup.
Especially knowing there's going to be a weakened defense.
The focus
And
now
just look at this, it's
whether or not
raining
SK
smokes onto the
with an
slight
even
flashes, mollies,
lower
the kitchen
buy
sink,
are
everything
going to be
has
able
been
to
pushed
stick around in this map.
onto
This
the
was
play.
their
It's
pick.
going to be Taco from the alcove. The first time they've
About
used
how
this
it's
angle,
common
and he's
ground,
almost
though.
spoiled for choices to
Cloud9
which
have
fly
proven
far
that
as
and
first.
some.
SK
They have a great
advantage,
lead
which,
now.
considering they lost the first player, is a miracle in itself. And Fallen has read this perfectly. Automatic has the bomb, has time to go for a rotation. Let's just watch Nyango. He has no reason to move here forward because his teammate's already on the site. coldzera has it locked down. There's very little chance that he's pushed past him and the likes of drop. And now that Molotov has landed on B long, they know exactly what his intentions are going to be. As he pushes through here, Fallen's now going to come down into drop and will cordon off the area. Very intelligent play by SK, 15-11.
Also smart from Automatic. I like what he did there. He forced Fallen to have to go through drop if he wanted to be there to support coldzera, or he was going to get a 1v1 against Cold. Unfortunately for him, he just didn't find the frags. But again, Cloud9 spent so much utility isolating the site, but they couldn't break the site because of the alcove position. We mentioned they had to deal with the guy at Broken Wall who caught all their attention.
E você compra
And that allowed the guy to just kind of be in the stake in the grass there in the back and just shut it down. And so SK now have 11. They've actually forced SK, including Cloud9, to tap out a little bit here.
Não vai ser da melhor
They'll
qualidade
just be upgraded
possível.
pistols and armor in this round, so they won't have their AKs. Their funds have finally been drained after the massive winning streak. They also did have their economy reset once here in the 24th round, so that's also playing into things a bit. And so all of a sudden, SK's chances of forcing an overtime are not
No caso, você vai gravar o áudio, vamos gravar
so
o áudio,
low.
pronto. Você
Percentage
começa a
chance. I
gravar,
mean, they definitely
ele tem um ruído
have an
péssimo.
effort
Você
here
vai
that
colocar no
could work
computador,
out.
você dizer que o ruído é enorme, tem muito ruído. Por quê? Porque você acha que o cara
Just
que desenvolveu
as soon as you
celular
think that maybe
vai
SK
gastar
can
peças
add
que
themselves back
custam
into this one, it's all about the tech nines. They'll get mowed down from the backside though. Sure, Phelps going to town.
O cara que vai usar o celular, ele não
Another
importa,
one.
ele não quer gravar
SK.
o áudio.
All
Se
right,
quisesse
3
gravar
more
apenas
rounds
gravar o
required.
áudio,
Said
compraria
before, they're
gravador,
veterans.
e
They've
não
been here
celular.
before a
Então,
number of
ele é
times.
focado em outras
Not
coisas.
out of this just
Já
yet.
os
Cloud9 will have another
smartphones que nós
purchase
conhecemos,
though.
aqueles bem caríssimos, S5,
They're going to take a time out to talk
Samsung
about it a
S5,
little
alguma
bit,
coisa
see
assim,
what's the
da
best
Apple também,
approach
tem um da
here.
Apple,
There's
que
definitely
custa
enough
mais de
money
R$
for
2.000.
AWP to come out
Se
for
você for gravar o
Skadoodle.
áudio, você pode perceber que a qualidade é
They're going to
ótima.
have full utility, full
quase não
AKs,
tem
everything
ruído.
they could really
Por quê?
want. So
Por
they
quê?
have all the
Porque
utility at their
é de
disposal.
qualidade, o smartphone é de qualidade.
The ideal
O cara que
buy
foi
for
desenvolver o
Cloud9,
celular
but it's just about what they want to
percebeu
do
o
with it.
seguinte,
A lot of the time,
eu
they've
quero que o
actually
meu
played it
cliente
pretty
tenha
slow,
tudo que ele
which is
quer,
surprising considering
o melhor
Cloud9 are
qualidade
usually
possível.
so explosive
Então,
that it
ele
usually
investiu
is
mais
their comfort
dinheiro
zone is
em
just
peças para
thriving in
poder
the
colocar um
chaos.
gravador
You know,
bom
you
no
have this
celular.
automatic
Sim,
entry
mas eu
combo.
falei,
You have a guy like
e a
Nothing that
pergunta
even
é,
though he's a
por
lurker, he
que
likes to
o
be
microfone não tem qualidade boa?
very
Porque
assertive.
varia. Cada microfone
And
tem o
though
seu
Shroud
preço,
usually
assim
is the
como
guy who just
cada
holds
câmera tem o
angles
seu
and kind of
preço.
takes things a bit
Aquelas
slower
câmeras
pace, a lot
digital
of
toda
peripheral rolls.
horrível,
When
que
he
custam
does get
R$300, por exemplo,
kicked
não
into
grava nem
gear, he definitely
HD.
can be
Vai perceber
a
que
great
é
entry
barato,
type
R$300,
fragger
por exemplo,
when he
uma
wants to
digital.
be. So
Agora você compra uma Canon,
they could go
aquelas
to that now. I mean, that
fodona,
might be the decision they
custa
decide to
1.500.
make,
Com
is
isso,
change the pace a
quanto
bit, as a lot
melhor
of this has been still their
qualidade,
defaults.
mais vai cair no preço. Então a
Yeah,
resposta
for sure.
é,
And
você quer
that's
qualidade
where we
fique
saw
boa,
them
compra
shine on the
microfone
train T
bom.
side, right? When they were
Eles
playing
tinham os
super
bons
aggressive, they're
baratos,
just
mas nem
bursting out the likes of
sempre
outside
isso
and
ocorre.
B.
O microfone que eu
So,
utilizo
yeah,
para poder
maybe
gravar
that
nos
is the
tutoriais
go-to
esse
strat
daqui.
now. Be more aggressive,
Oh,
be more up in the
legal,
face.
nossa, deve
The
ser
threats
try and battle through.
caríssimo.
We saw
15
SK run
reais.
this in the first half.
Sim,
Again,
eu
it's
falei que
definitely a
15
play
reais.
everyone's very familiar with. But I love these incendiaries from SK. It puts so much
No caso,
pressure
eu
on
comprei
long
na
B to
internet
peak
do
with,
Mercado
but unfortunately
Livre.
Phelps
E a
only
qualidade
gets
é
one from
ótima,
it.
é boa,
That's-
tem ruído,
I think you
mas
needed more out of
é
that
boa.
to make
O
it
ruído é
worth it.
baixo. Certo, então
Gotta
eu
love
já
the
falei.
idea though, right? Just
o
cause
problema
chaos
pode ser o
and then try and
microfone,
finish
com um
off.
microfone bom.
Oh,
Dois,
this is going to sell the fake so
placa-mãe.
well. Everyone's still here.
calma
They're at
lá,
home
você
at
vive
B.
muito bem de computador, eu também
Even
não sou
Fallen's thinking about
profissional, também não
rotating.
estou fazendo faculdade de informática. Eu
Now
não
they know what's up,
sempre paguei nenhuma academia de manutenção, mas eu entendo
And
muito
Fur's
bem.
able to get over
Seria
here
o
as well.
seguinte,
It's like one of those
cada computador tem
things
uma
where every second
placa-mãe,
that
tem um
fades
modelo de
is
placa-mãe.
makes it less and less
Tem
likely that the B hit was coming in,
gigabytes, e assim
and they
vai.
decide to hold their ground
Não tem
instead.
a qualidade
3
de
playing
áudio
3,
nem tanto.
55 seconds
Então
left.
esse é o
First
problema.
on the site
Geralmente,
doesn't
o
give him
problema
too much
pode
room
ser
for
a
error, but they do have a crossfire with
placa-mãe.
Cold Zero being
Como
established.
é que eu vou resolver esse
Waldo
problema
has
então? Compre uma
Being
placa de
bowed
vídeo.
out of this
Este
round.
é
Fur
o
deciding that he
problema.
wants to take a different angle. They go up, he's been spotted, but the position has been compromised. They throw in that Molotov almost instantly, and now Fur has to run
Placa
away.
de vídeo
He's still
é
being
caro.
burnt alive
Caro
though.
demais.
Even
Alguns
though he jumped down,
computadores,
somehow the
como o
Molotov
meu
decided
computador
to
é um
follow
computador
him.
com placa-mãe
And Cold
gamer.
Zero now is the next up on
Não
the
é a
chopping
melhor,
block, but
mas é
the
boazinha.
hunter becomes the
No
hunted
caso, o
as he does
áudio
thread
dela
the
é
headshot
legal,
onto
é
Stewie. The
boa,
bomb's gonna
eu
get
não
planted
tenho
on the
problemas.
site, and now
Mas
automatic and
notebooks,
Skadoodle
esse
have
é
to
o
try and
problema.
fend off this
Notebooks
retake.
são péssimos
Well,
para poder
the
capturar
aggression
áudio. Se
from
você
both
tem
Taco and
computador,
Cold
e quando
Zero.
não tem
They're
notebook, faça
breathing
o
down the
teste.
next. SK
Capture o
want to
áudio
get
com
this
seu
comeback
computador, com o
underway.
microfone,
They
o
want to
microfone
hold on
qualquer
to
que
their
você
map
tem.
for dear life.
Depois capture
And Cloud9
com
on the brink
o
of taking
notebook.
it.
Você vai
Automatic
perceber que o
still
notebook
staying on the
piora
site,
a
seeing the
qualidade,
shadow
tem
of
mais
Cold Zero,
ruído.
seen
Então,
his
leva
shin
tutoriais,
as he
leva
moves
vídeos
by,
com
and
placa
Skadoodle
do
with a
notebook, é
huge
horrível,
kill.
placa do
That
notebook é
could be the
horrível.
final nail in the coffin.
Agora, se você
If
quiser
Don is coming up in
placa
just a
de
few moments' time, and
som,
Skadoodle
é
lands
mais
it onto Cold
complicado, é
Zero.
mais caro,
And
mas
Cloud9
vale
have
a
done
pena.
it. They've taken
É claro, vale
Cobblestone
a
away
pena
from
se você realmente quer investir
Good doodle with a massive play. Even though the fake didn't really work out the way they wanted to, their pressure at platform got shut down, and SK really figured out what was happening. Were able to rotate back into A, but Skadoodle's op made it not matter. He killed Fallen right away. He winds up finishing off the final 2 kills as well. Patrick and SK concede Cobblestone for the first time with this 5. That's a really key storyline to point out. They were 12-0 on Cobble, and CLOUD9 have put the blemish on the record. They've taken the first victory off of this 5 on Cobble, and they do it in the grand finals here in the Super Invitational. Really well done. And again, folks, you can get yourself something as well. If you'd like to get in on this giveaway, please do so valued at $2,500. You have the PC all decked out. You got the Logitech peripherals, you got the Asus monitor. Great stuff. Be sure to click the graphic down below to get involved on that, as well as give your feedback to Subaru using the hashtag Subaru Invitational. Let them know what you think about the tournament, what you'd like to see from them next. As that was quite the victory from C9. A bold statement to take that away from SK on their home soil.
An incredible map where Cloud9 are on the brink now of maybe being crowned the Subaru Invitational champions, but we'll find out if they can pull it off after this short commercial break. We'll be jumping straight into train. We'll be right back.
Pronto, então agora você aprendeu a configurar o seu computador para poder ficar com a melhor qualidade possível de áudio. Drac, então resolveu todos os problemas? Não. Essa função de conhecimento agora é provável que ele melhore um pouco. Se estava em qualidade de CD, por exemplo, vai melhorar um pouquinho. É imperceptível, é quase imperceptível, mas melhora. Então, no caso, pergunta final, Drac, onde vem o ruído? Ele pode vir do microfone, da placa-mãe ou do seu próprio sistema operacional e programas instalados. Então, no caso, como é que eu resolvo o ruído? Como é que eu gravo com ruído nenhum? Três soluções. Essas três soluções vai depender do que você vai precisar, do seu propósito para gravar o áudio. Primeiro, você vai precisar comprar muito equipamentos para seu computador. Compre um microfone bom, estilo extra para a tela, uma placa de som, e se possível use um editor de áudio, um Audacity ou outros programas de edição de áudio que pode melhorar a qualidade, não melhora, pode modificar para poder o ruído ficar imperceptível. Então, esse é o problema. Porém, isso você vai investir muito dinheiro, vai investir mais de R$1.000. Então, não vale a pena. A melhor solução possível para quem for gravar voz. Agora, a segunda solução seria você comprar um gravador. Sim, este foi o que eu ensinei aqui. Eu estou capturando com o gravador. Este é o meu truque.
The longest lasting vehicle in its class. More than a car. It's a Subaru.
All right, guys, what could be the final time in the Subaru Invitational, we are back live on Train Cloud9. A huge surprise, a shock to all, but I'm sure themselves. They have tarnished the reputation of SK and Cobblestone and knocked them down a peg or two. Now they move to Train, their choice of map, and are just one map away from potentially winning this whole thing. Myself and Dust bringing the action once more as SK will be starting on the CT side.
Yeah, again, it's great for C9 to be the ones to deliver the first blow to SK on Cobble. Again, they were undefeated up until that point, and it comes at just the right time in the grand finals of this tournament. What a proper way to do it with this on the line. Cloud9, like I said, getting this on the T side, and of course, it's Stewie already just running out into Olaf, but he's going to be the snake in the grass. It's really going to be an inner hit this whole time. He's just trying to see what pressure he can create by himself, and so far, it's a good amount.
Surprisingly, Taco did not expect there to be any more players after shooting on the cross and landing himself a kill. SK, though, have somewhat stabilized for a few more moments before Automatic goes in and domes Phelps. Fallen will come back with a kill of his own, avenging his fallen compadre. And now Shrouds in a 1-on-2. Fur is exceptionally low. This is where the Glock can be so powerful, so deadly. He's working the train. Perfect position. There's the first. Shroud on the brink of clutching this round out. Fallen's going to just try and tap the sight and lands the shot. Intelligent play, but more importantly, precision in aim. If he misses that, Shroud had an opportunity to stop him defusing, and it was very close to detonating, but SK do pick it up.
Yeah, Fallen having the kick is in the luxury of being able to toy around with Shroud a little bit there. He taps the bomb, he forces Shroud to have to spam the smoke to stop the defuse. And that gives him the ability to kind of move out and just finish the job. A well-crafted round by C9. It's just that I think the upper push and enter kind of let SK know what was up. And so no matter what Stewie did in the outer, they were never going to be fooled, and they were always going to be able to rotate the way they needed to.
One way of starting the second map after a disappointing first one. Fallen was pretty absent as well on that first map, so they get a 3K and a clutch. I'm sure is going to make him feel pretty good about things. Deagles in play, 3 of them to be precise, and the P250 with a Glock. Of course, Gadoodle not really investing anything into this as he is the AWPer. Automatic's going to lose his Deagle and his life in the process. And now Cloud9 is going to be hoping for some crazy Juan taps to get themselves onto the site. Otherwise, SK will take a 2-0 lead. CLOUD9 not too far away from being on the receiving end of a battering courtesy of Nothing. He was by far the star player of Cloud9 on that first map. Ended with just shy of a 30. Can't get the damage done. CLOUD9 will be able to escape with 9 health, but now it's all Nothing, and they have spotted his position. So if Nothing gets more than a kill out of this, it would be impressive. Won't be happening. SK retain all 5 players.
A clean victory there for SK, even the ability to keep these UMPs going to farm more cash. Obviously, Fur with his trusty MP9. Such a nuisance on Mirage, in particular on the A side of the map, but also can put it to use at ladder room. It's kind of the trademark position for Fur on this map. That's the big thing about SK now on the CT side of Train, is the fact that you can do these aggressive outer yard setups with Fur and Phelps. 2 very aggressive prone riflers who like to play in forward positions. You can double up on T-Con, ladder, E-box, things like that, and really choke and suffocate a team trying to find space. But Automatic did creep out, so we will get to jump onto Fur. Phelps, though, with a great response, so at least keep it somewhat even.
Good shot by Fallen. Dispatch to Skadoodle. And you assume that there's going to be quite a lot of bloodshed between those two as this map goes on. But early doors, Fallen does have the upper hands. Nothing's able to just maneuver his way onto the site and get the bomb down for free. There's no one around Pop Dog, so this is going to be a plan. And a finalized one at that. Now, Automatic and Nothing have to somehow rummage together this post-plant defense. Automatic looking into Pop Dog, Nothing up onto the green train. They have their angles covered, and unbeknownst to them, all 3 players are going to be coming from roughly the same area. Fallen has spotted the head of Nothing as it just peeks up over the train. There is a Molotov in play for Taco, and he's going to need to throw that sooner rather than later. As now Automatic's going to go to task. He's been volleyed off, and here comes the spray, and Nothing and Automatic are going to get the flawless retake hold under their belt. Cloud9 do pick up the round in style.
Big round from Automatic. It really started with him being able to sneak out into Olaf. I don't think Fur anticipated that at all. And that really got the jump on SK. There was a great recovery from Phelps and Fallen, sure. but nothing and Automatic stick around to close things off. They pull off the 2v3 clutch, and they get their first round on the board. SK will buy back up, but again, a bit limited. A lot of UMPs involved in this mix, but Fallen still has the op, and that certainly is beneficial.
Will break the deadlock early on in round 4. It's important that Cloud9 can keep that momentum after winning. They keep going in winning ways, and Shroud does come down into Pop Dog. But Phelps is laid in wait with open arms. And Shroud will not be escaping with his scout. Instead, Shui goes for the spray, but Phelps is not going to fall for that. He's already moved out and relocated. Stewie will take him down afterwards. Didn't quite spot that, but I assume that Phelps went back in for seconds and got caught nothing. Fallen gets caught from the side, and what is happening here is nothing goes for another one. He just walks straight out. All guns blazing. 2 players fall by his feet. And nothing continues to be the Terminator for Cloud9. He fears no man. There's another trade that goes his way. This time, though, CLOUD9 was at least shooting back. And it's good to see that nothing hasn't slowed down from that first map performance. 2-2.
The big detail there that may have been missed is the fact that CLOUD9 was playing Ivy, but he just happened to angle out at the wrong time, because nothing literally finds the perfect window of just maybe a couple of seconds to slip out of Ivy and get into the outer yard without CLOUD9 noticing and being able to communicate it over to his teammates, which means he just blindsides 2 players in the yard and cracks that open. And now C9 tie up the game. SK have to take a save here. Cloud9 could now look to take the lead right away. We do already have Stu out with Shroud taking this outer yard, and everything has been pretty clean thus far. Stu takes some damage, sure, but still no casualties suffered, and it will be the clean sweep, as C9 have won the last 3 rounds in a row.
In style at that, including a 2-on-3 hold after the plant into a brisk play from nothing. That was the easiest of the rounds, but SK, they're not out of the woods just yet. I mean, their economy is still in dire straits. They're looking at a UMP and a scout and not much else just to equalize the economy. This does afford them a decent buy in the next round, but Cloud9 now, they have the start of this map in the palm of their hands.
And Stu slips out again at Olaf. So again, he might be able to poke and prod a little bit here over towards the Ivy angle as he does sniff out. Fallen does a lot of damage down to 7 HP. Softening up the underbelly of SK's defense here in the outer yard. And even could find Fur dancing through all these smokes.
Taco's going to go down. Yeah, Fallen is very low. CLOUD9 is put down in his place, and Stewie is just having a field day out. Fallen finally will go down to a Molotov, a stray Molotov at that, and Stewie somehow lives to fight another day after running out of ammunition. Very nearly cost him his life, but Cloud9 for the 2nd consecutive time will be picking up the round without any losses.
And Stewie created so much pressure by himself. He held everyone in outer yard, and it was all a ruse for C9 to slip into a very undefended inner bomb site. And so now that's 4 in a row for C9. SK are finally able to buy back into it, and they're going to have the double AWP.
Yep, that is the reason for the previous couple of weak rounds, so they could get their hands on 2 sniper rifles. Bit of early damage inflicted to the T-main push. CLOUD9 is going to burn quite a bit if he's not careful. Moving to the box, I'm not sure Shroud realizes this, and if CLOUD9 goes down for another peek, that could be curtains. Fur comes through, they line up for him. I'm sure he got wide-eyed at that one, assuming that he would have a whole bunch of kills, but only 1 comes to his name. Still information will be gathered. That smoke, though, for all Phelps realizes, could be Cloud9 retreating out of T-mains. That
and Shroud took down CLOUD's op, Metis. That's massive. That AWP's off the board, and they had the man advantage because of Shroud's efforts. That was off camera. Just wanted to point that out. Have a substantial impact going forward now, as this really makes things a lot more difficult on SK to move across the map. Taco luckily able to get the kill and get the AWP back.
Unfortunately for SK, they're able to get some more trades going their way. Skrudel gonna miss, and Fallen will not make the same mistake. 3-4 was looking good for Cloud9 for a few moments there with the early trades, but then SK just woke up from their slumber.
Yeah, great response by Taco and Inner Halls to slow down Shroud, get the AWP back so they still have the double op set up in this round. Also good play from Phelps inside ladder room, really shut down C9 coming out of T-Connector, despite the fact that some of the early exchanges did not go SK's way.
Four orbs in play. 2 apiece. Automatic this time is the player to play very aggressive through and T main. That molly is not going to spread to him. And in the meanwhile, the player that's pushing up on the train will be found out. As Automatic, it almost baited them into a false sense of security, seeing that Molotov go down outside of T main. They assumed it would be a brick wall. Automatic was having none of it, and another opening pick goes the way of Cloud9.
Yeah, they're going to have the instant 5-on-4. They're already starting to get a little bit of position here towards outer. They have Shroud right above ladder. They have nothing still putting presence at Ivy. They haven't committed to actually taking into anything yet. See, the thing is with Train, there's really no way just to take straight up map control without also entering a site, right? Like, if you take Ivy control, you're basically into the outer yard. If you take Brown Hall's control, I mean, that usually isn't really trying to be captured by CTs anyway. It's not like there's like a mid or something that you can take control of it and use it as a launching pad. Like, whatever you're doing, you're going into a site.
Well, speaking of going into the site, seems like Cloud9 have got their eye set on B. Stewie's going to be first in to check up on the catwalk side with his AWP. Coldzera, he is going to dismantle Automatic, and Stewie has got himself a pick. That's going to alleviate some of the pressure on the site. Now Taco's on the site by himself, but not for too much longer as Stewie takes him down. And Fallen has to seriously think about whether he wants to go for this retake or not. Pushing out in the Molotov has already put him down to 39, but he's trying to bank on the idea that they're not expecting him to be out this fast, so he can get at least one pick before they realize where he is. The problem with that is Stewie has the reactions of a god and just flicks off the head of Fallen.
So that clean sweep by SK at the start has been responded to by Cloud9 in a big way, and now the money for SK has been reset. It's probably the most crippling thing, and they were doing double op, so that was spending a lot of money when they were winning rounds, or round, I should say. And so they're actually going to force up around it, knowing that they're going to have to full save next round no matter what. At least this gives them a chance to avoid that by maybe winning around these UMPs. And Taco draws first blood on the Brown Hall's push, quickly traded by Shroud. And so C9 know what they're up against. They know what the benefits are now of winning this round. They know if they can take this 7-3 is so likely. This is a 2-for-1 deal for Cloud9.
Not too much to play against in terms of firepower. UMPs and CZs. 2 flashes, no kits, and time to burn. Phelps is going to be feeling like he needs to push up here. The downside of doing this, though, is if he misses out on this opportunity, he is going to fall down. Automatic is going to switch to a nade. It costs him his life, but no further casualties will be forthcoming for the time being. Fur's going to play the close angle on the train. I love this position. The call would have came through. He sees the shadow, and Shroud probably is going to be a dead man any second now. And to make matters worse, the bomb's been thrown out on the first side of the bomb. The site is actually working against Cloud9. It's blocking off their vision. They cannot see anything. And Skoodle's going to go all out with his Tech 9. Is tapping at range. Coldzera's going to fall to the Tech 9 of Stewie. And Cloud9 will pick up a 6, but that was way too close for comfort.
Surely. I mean, yeah, SK did put a lot into that round to give themselves a chance, and they almost got it, but Cloud9 hold it off, and again, this is their reward. A round where SK have really nothing they can buy into this. It'll just be the 250s coming out on a few players. Fallen, of course, will just USP. He wants to make sure he can get that AWP out in the next round. So this should really just be an easy round for Cloud9. They really shouldn't have too much trouble dealing with this. Shouldn't the keyword, of course.
Yeah. Often in CS should doesn't really mean too much. As it's just been highlighted by Fallen going in and landing a USP headshot to Automatic. And the second kills came down. Fallen's going to use the AK against the terrorists. And keep in mind that he's on full health. There's no kill flow though for the CTs across the board. So it's all well and good getting the weapon away. This is where aim punch is going to start to be an enemy as well. On top of Shroud, nothing in Stewie. Nothing's going to try and push his way through Connector. No one's home, but it is going to be a bit of information gathered for the rest of his team. And although the bomb is dropped, it is salvageable for Cloud9. Nothing's going to get peeked from Phelps, and the AWP is going to work against Cloud9 too. SK came into this round with basically nothing, and they are on the brink of breaking Cloud9 in this.
3 250s and a 5-7's all it took, and it was a USP that dealt the first kill from Fallen. And so you got past the hard part of winning the force buy in the last round. This should be basically your just desserts round. You've got past the main course, and now all of a sudden, they're in a 2 versus 4. Phelps has an AWP in play. The AK's still out on Fallen. He's already gotten 2 kills on the round. Time is a huge factor now. They already have great positioning for Inner. This couldn't have gone worse for Cloud9.
And to make matters worse, Phelps has got himself another pick. Chewy's going to fake the bomb. See if he can throw out some of these CTs. And he will get what he asked for. Taco with a 5-7. Not only have SK won the round, they only lose 1 player. This is going to boom their economy up several notches. Cloud9 have let a begging chance go wanting.
Yeah, that is devastating that Cloud9 loses a round like that. Again, they were so well set up to just extend the lead. And instead, they're going to see SK coming up to them a lot faster than they hoped for. Double AWP in effect for both teams, actually. Again, you don't see W on T-side train that often. As Stu's looking for the pick here against Fallen, he's not going to find it. Fallen will instead back away with the advantage. But look at the response from C9.
Phelps caught in 2 minds as to whether to look at T-Main or Pop Dog. Watching the outsides of the smoke. Turning his back on it is dangerous, but he knew that another smoke was being thrown down from his teammate. 3 playing 3. Very centralized defense by SK and sweeper rolls, so if either side is forced, they can quickly rotate as a trio. Molotov, a couple of flashes. Here comes the peek. Taco gets tagged, but not put down. That could be so important. Going through the latter stage of this round as Phelps comes through with the A4. Finally, Taco will be finished off. And Skadoo's going to get traded out with Phelps, who runs by with a P250. The reason so many people get triggered by this weapon, it just bested nothing with full Kevlar and an AK. And just put Cloud9 down into an eco.
So here we're seeing the response from SK. They've won the last 2 rounds in a row. They finally have Cloud9's back against the wall money-wise. They're going to have a great chance to tie this thing up as Cloud9 only can rely upon some upgraded pistols and just a sparse amount of utility in this round. No armor to back anybody up, and Cold's already found Shroud.
Again, you can't help but go back to that moment with the P250s and the 5-7. Could that be the moment where SK clawed their way back in? Cloud9 were looking favorites to take something like a 4-8 lead.
Yeah.
And yet here we are, nearly all even.
Definitely hurts as now Cloud9 the best they can hope for just to try to get these flashes in the inner and look for a bomb plant, but Taco's playing up close. He's not going to allow that to happen. They get stuck on the barrel, and Taco lights them up, so no bomb plant will be found here for C9. No extra money coming through. Nothing? Oh, maybe he has a chance. As soon as I say that, of course, he gets a bomb plant. Well, there you go. Caster's curse, of course.
To be fair to you, though, he really shouldn't be getting that bomb plant. I think that's the key thing. They may be a bit worried that nothing would take a few more heads off and make it a really costly round, but credit to him, he's 13-7. He's continued to apply that pressure from the first map. Does allow Cloud9 a bit of a better buy here as a result of the bomb plant. Can afford an AWP. I mean, they could even afford 2 if they so choose. They went for a double AWP earlier. I don't expect to see that again here. And actually, Skadoodle goes for an AK. He could have afforded an AWP with Kevlar, but goes for full AK purchase. Could suggest we're going to see a fast execute.
We do see a lot of gathering of the forces of C9 here in the Brown Halls right off the bat. No focus at T-Con or Ivy at all. All their eggs are in this basket right off the top. Good incendiaries, though, from SK are slowing things down just a bit. Burr has a forward position on top of the ladder as well. Cold will play a little bit more back as he has that AWP at Z connector.
Could be a call from Cloud9 expecting the double ups to be in play. And as a result, they can get that fast, rapid execute into the face of SK. It's where the double ups could struggle. And here we go. I think that green light's about to be punched in. Looking to stack up outside of the smoke. Shroud did have a flashbang out. Looks like they're going to start to push right here, right now. Fur could be the key man. No one's came up the top side of the catwalk, so he can actually just stand up here for as long as he wants. He can throw the Molotov down onto the site as well, which could very well stop the plan. This has been an absolute train wreck so far. The bomb's gone down, but surely now SK are in prime position to strike, but maybe not. Phelps has been traded out. Nothing automatic are coming through with kills, and all the trades are going the way of Cloud9. It was a very odd decision, but it seems like it's going to work out after all. Fallen, we've seen him clutch these before. It's just so unlikely that he can do it again, considering the positions, and nothing. Did he just land a headshot in midair?
Indeed, he did. He was also vital because he pushed so deep into the inner bomb site while everything else was popping off. He gets to kill on the Zeke Hunter player for free. He was kind of the insurance policy. Even though Fur was causing a lot of trouble from the upper ladder position and buying time, the fact that nothing got through the back end of the inner yard really helped things along for C9. So they will find their 7th round. Finally, a response to SK, who had that little streak going there. And money's starting to get low for SK. So if Cloud9 can take this, maybe 9-6 is still a possibility, which would be pretty good to recover after kind of a little bit of a mishap there in that 10th round that we talked about. As Cloud9 will be back to slowing things down again, not looking to do any type of heavy, aggressive push right off the top, looking to take it a little bit more passively, about as default as it gets for this team. The only difference is Ska has that off into inner halls. He knows that there's been a tendency for SK to actually push up there a little bit, so he wants to try to counter that, but not going to find it this time.
So instead he wins the race. Cloud9 tossing out the smokes. They actually aren't going to push directly behind it. We have the benefit of being able to see that 3 of them are moving up towards the Ivy side with the bomb. Of course, SK still doing the edge of their seat, wondering what's about to come at them. Snaking their way down Ivy. No one's here. Thus, no one's watching it just yet. They do have CLOUD9, but he's only got a FAMAS to his name.
He's got the passive angle. Phelps is pushed up in the ladder, though, so depending on how this battle goes with Shroud, he could still be a factor later on, even if Cloud9 get through Ivy. So there's a couple of fail-safes in place for SK, and Fallen's AWP will be the first one to land the mark.
CLOUD9 will get the kill. Fallen comes through with one of his own, nothing, trying to spray through the smoke. Slightly too far to the left-hand side, and now Shroud is taking pot shots wherever he can. 10 seconds left, nothing. A spray back through once again. Isn't too far off of landing another one, but this round is laid to rest. It's done. It's over. Cloud9 will be neck and neck at 7 apiece. It looks like nothing will be able to save his AK going through into the last round. We'll boss there by a little bit more, but we are dead even.
So while there wasn't anyone in back halls or right outside of Ivy, the fact that Phelps had a good forward position allowed Fallen the freedom to focus at AWP on Ivy. Just get an angle where you wouldn't be exposed to T-Con and be able to handle that. Cold also had a great position, so it was just kind of like, maybe giving a little bit of space away, but making sure they had the angles to stop any type of push into the outer yard itself. And now it's the last round of the half. It's a close race right now at 7-all. And Fallen, he's found the first pick here at Ivy. Cold mops up the rest of it. The heavy Ivy push from Cloud9. Oh my goodness, it's already over. There was nothing to be found for Cloud9 that round. They were trying to get a little bit more passive, but they ran up against the brick wall of SK playing aggressively. And that's it.
They just ran into a wall of Brazilians
that they made Cloud9 pay for. Yeah,
exactly. Now Cloud9 only 1 round behind, going through into their CT side. Of course, they are still in a really solid position. Regardless of who wins this pistol, they're still in it, of course. We're not in kind of like 11-4, 12-3 score where the pistol's everything. But so close. And keep in mind, if you just joined us, the Cloud9 took down SK on their choice of map of Cobblestone.
Indeed, then just to remind you guys, as this might be one of the final times you'll have a chance to know this, we do have a giveaway going on, so be sure to click the graphic down below on the Twitch page as we have a PC set up, as well as Logitech peripherals and an Asus monitor valued at around $2,500 available. So just make sure you get down there, click the link, get in on the giveaway. It takes no time at all. Also giving away a bunch of mouse pads as well, so there's definitely a lot to be won out there if you want to get involved. Also, be sure to give Subaru your feedback on Twitter. Hashtag Subaru Invitational is the best way to reach out to them. Let them know what you think, as it's been quite a fun tournament, and this semifinal matchup that we saw right before this, the Cloud9 CLG, was quite good, particularly that first map. And now this final so far has shaped up well. Cobblestone was really cool. So a little bit of history made. SK losing their first time on Cobble with their full 5 since Phelps joined. Cloud9 taking a 1-map advantage in the best of 3 in the grand finals that maybe people didn't expect. And now they have a chance still to 2-0 the series. I mean, they're not too far off of SK.
Certainly not. And going through onto their CT side too. Thing is though, Skadoodle's on 3 and 10. That's going to have to change here. He's by far and away the least of the impactful AWPers. I mean, falls on 15 frags. So if Skadoodle doesn't show up in the second half, things could get messy real fast. We could be heading to Inferno. But let's see what SK have in store for this pistol. Bit of utility on Fallen. He's already thrown out his smoke and one of his flashes. Make that a second one automatic. Can't see a single thing. Now the snowstorm is dissipated and he's able to open up and get some frags for himself. Automatic with one. Looking for a second. He's going to connect that one as well, but finally gets put down. Skadoodle, who's up on the catwalk, unable to help his teammate out. They have the player advantage. They still have control of the defuse kit. But it's all about this flash into connector attack. Oh, it's going to try and put them both down. Didn't quite get it done. That could have been the moment where SK took this round and ran with it. Instead, Fallen's going to fall to the hands of nothing. And CLOUD9 on the site, 3 separate angles to cover with the Glock. And it's not going to be a good time for him. In factual fact, he's gone for the knife. Are you mad? Because I'm not. CLOUD9 have picked up their second pistol.
Extra money, of course. No other reason for that knife kill.
Yeah. Nice little boosted amount of money. And he knew that CLOUD9 was out of bullets too, because he was clearly trying to reload.
That was definitely a very low-risk knife kill to get a big reward. And I think you really kind of nailed it there. I mean, the biggest thing that could have gone wrong was if Taco actually got both those kills in Z off the back of that pop flash. And he almost did, but didn't quite find the second kill, and that gave CLOUD9 a bit more breathing room to follow through with the retake. Also had to give some props to Automatic. Had a couple of really nice kills off the top in the initial take to keep CLOUD9 in it. And now it is all squared up, and we do see the Tech-9 force up from SK, but it's being absolutely shut down on all fronts. Shroud and nothing the biggest parts of it.
At this stage, it's damage control for the terrorists. Okay, Fallen. All right, fair enough, fair enough. He's still in this round.
Please CLOUD9 close, so I'm not wrong. That would be really nice of you. I may eat my words in a moment here. Fallen keeps this up. He actually has a lot of time to play around with this too, and the head armor to boot.
As far as 1v2 goes, this actually isn't too bad. He's already picked up 2 kills, and sure, they knew where he was originally, but now so much time is passed, and so much more time can go by, that he is free to potentially get 2 1v1s. So CLOUD9 may want to stick together here and not allow him to come through with 2 separate 1v1s.
Oh,
he's going to get the drop onto Stewie and goes back into Team A. He's still got 45 seconds. Fallen could be crafting a masterpiece, but very similar to the CLOUD9 clutch. I can't help but feel that CLOUD9 have been their own worst enemies here. Take nothing away from Fallen, but this should never be the case. Skadoodle is up in heaven, and Fallen could get the drop on him soon. He's spotted him. He's going to come straight down again. He knows that Skadoodle's likely going to have the AWP, doesn't want to fire against him at range. Instead wants to make it into a more favorable position. Down comes Skadoodle. Fallen's going to chase him with a Tech-9, but Skadoodle will get the denial. And Fallen must be livid, but that was way too close for CLOUD9.
Meanwhile, CLOUD9 breathing a heavy sigh of relief. I am as well, because I almost ate all of my words, as that was a 1v4 that should have ended much earlier than it did, but Fallen showing you that there's several players on SK capable of being quite clutch, punishing mistakes, really making you work to close rounds, making you pay for every single mistake, and that almost turned out into an early victory for SK, but CLOUD9 do hold on, and now they have a chance to extend lead even a bit further, be the first to reach double digits as long as they handle this bye effectively. I don't want to say anything now, because while this should be, again, should the key word be an easier time for C9, we've definitely seen SK pose a lot of problems in rounds like this. And Cold could be the first one to do so, as he's already snuck out a good bit with this Deagle.
Get the drop on nothing but nothing. Scampers away. Teasing CLOUD9, who gets blocks. Meanwhile, Fur on the approach to B site. Not only going to get the bomb planted, but the kill on top of it. And although Fallen does get tagged, it's not enough to finish him off partially through the wall. This is where the superior weaponry, though, should start to push its way onto the site, claiming kills as it goes. A carpet of firepower. Fallen with a Glock headshot of all weapons, but he is going to fall down courtesy of Automatic. Molotov thrown out just to make sure no one pushes down ramp. Oh, Automatic looks away at a time that could have been so costly for his team, but he doesn't get punished, and he's going to hold on to the site right here, right now. He's trying to bob up and down, but it's going to be SK Gaming who take the round, and again, CLOUD9 make their fans facepalm in unison.
It's 2 rounds that they almost lost, and that one they actually do. It's 2 rounds where SK basically have nothing into it, and they take them to the brink both times. That's how they finish it off. They tie the game right back up. And Cloud9 are going to be left reeling now. It's triple scout. What the heck is this? What is going on in this game, dude? I mean, I don't even understand anymore.
Skadoodle went ham on Inferno with the scout. I mean, maybe that's the logic. Just 3 of them? Triple the chance? I have no idea, dude.
Yeah, it's...
But there's 1 kill. Not with a scout, with a UMP. But that's going to be traded out for an AK. Bomb planted on B. And this is especially where the scout's going to struggle. Trying to retake a site with scouts. So good luck with that one. Automatic's going to pick up 1 kill onto Taco. I mean, surely this can't happen, right? We've seen so many rounds like
that twice already, and I was horribly wrong in both cases. Well, I guess not. School did kill Fallen in that 1 round, but still, the fact that I got that close was pretty unreal. But yeah, this one we'll concede as C9 do have to take the save here. Holding on to that 8K armor is definitely big for Stewie. And this has just turned into a circus of a game these last few rounds, really. SK going to be the beneficiaries of it as they will take the lead back from C9. As again, the first map went to Cloud9, so SK looking just to try to force a 3rd map. That's the goal right now.
Unreal Counter-Strike we've witnessed tonight. Sometimes not for the best reasons, I think it's safe to say, but Cloud9 do have an AK and a scout to work with. Maybe that is going to be the catalyst of something truly remarkable in this round. If not, SK could start to run away with this. Team main, where they're going to be stacking for the time being, or at least Taco is with the bomb carrier just behind him. Stewie's using his AK on E-Box. Taco's going to miss with the AWP. Trains that across to Fallen, and out they will move. Smoke landing in Ivy. Shroud is going to decide to see if he can't get something done with that USP at range. A quad stack on A for the time being, but now they are going to have a rotation from Stewie over on the B side. It's one of those kind of cases where you have to just go all in on something when you're this far behind on weaponry. Phelps is still going to be chilling in the Ivy side. Skadoodle's up on the train. 3 players around him. 50 seconds left, and SK have still got a bunch of options. CLOUD9 is going to be going down into Pop Dog alongside Fur. Meanwhile, Fallen has the bomb, and he's still just outside of B. Here comes Phelps from the side. Going to look to try and close line as many players as he can. He's been tagged from the scout of Skadoodle. Down goes nothing on the site. That's going to open up B, which is going to be planted momentarily, and the rest of the team are being put in their place. Shroud with the 1 kill. That's likely all they'll get out of this, though.
Domination from SK across the board. Phelps being the main actor in all of it with those 2 kills. Fallen with a duo of his own now as well. All Shroud has left to do is to try to save the AK, and he will not have even a glimmer of hope to do so. He's quickly pinched. So SK, they're pushing it now. They're up 11-9. The chances of that 3rd map are looking very likely unless Cloud9 can get something out of this buy round. They will not have an AWP, but they'll be able to have full rifles, an okay amount of utility. No kits, though. That certainly could pose problems.
Definitely. SK have been able to get their hands on a couple of bomb plants so far, including one they even lost. May not bode so well for Cloud9. Could this force them into more aggressive plays as a result? Well, Taco's gonna go down almost instantaneously. Nothing. The adversary, the assailant on this occasion, automatic. They're gonna line up for him. Goes for the spray. Nearly latching onto CLOUD9, who comes out of team main, who's good for 2 kills of his own. Does get put down to 19, and Cloud9, courtesy of Shroud, have the player advantage. Looking like they could actually steal this one away. Molotov. It's a connector though. Stewie is going to have to drop down into the molly. He's a bit too scared about his vulnerable position out on the boost. Shroud holding from Ivy. Bomb looks like it could be planted, and indeed it shall from Fallen. Now they're going to try and mop up SK as they pull back from the site. Not forthcoming though. Fallen's on the site with the AWP. He's going to go for a quick peek, and he does spot Stewie, but in turn Stewie sprays him down with the M4. And I'll call Zera. The only thing going for him is they don't know where he is. Now he is a phenomenal player, one of the best, if not the best in the world, but this is maybe a bridge too far, even for a crazy talent such as him. And there we have it. Cloud9 will pick it up, and it seems like the lack of kit doesn't even matter in the end.
Almost, though, it did. Cold survives a few more seconds. All of a sudden, that round may, in fact, be going over to SK. So, still, Cloud9, even when they're fighting rounds, they've been so strenuous. Like, they've never really had a calm victory in a round. They've always been, you know, stressed out to the max in these rounds. So, the mental fortitude has got to be a big factor for them. But they do pull one through. It's 11-10. SK, though, buy it to their own double op setup on the T side. We'll see what they want to do with it. Looks like they're going to send Cold with his into inner. Fallen, of course, just T connector, kind of a standard spot to have it. Cloud9, though, not going to give them any opportunities to take a pick here. But Automatic has this aggressive position at Ivy. It's going to pay off. Takes down Phelps, could even pick up his gun. But he wants to make sure it's safer. Doesn't know there's someone else there. Folks. Grabs the AK and backs off.
Well, I'm going to throw the molly towards the site. Force nothing out of position. Meanwhile, another molly's been thrown in the green train, and some damage inflicted to Fur, who jumps back into the molly. He's forced to expend his smoke so we could retreat away towards the team main side and join Fallen. So 1-for-1 trade. Fur is low. Another Molotov connects on the site, forcing nothing out of position once more. But they're not really capitalizing this. They're not moving behind it, SK. So they've already expended a lot of utility, and yet they're not really out onto the site. They only have a HE left.
That's very true. It's going to really come, and it's hard to push in, though, because you have two AWPs. Now, Fallen's phenomenal at playing close-range op duels, and that certainly helps a little bit, but still, trying to push in, you got to take your time. Ooh, just barely missed his nothing there. He had a great peek onto him, but doesn't quite pay off. Slowly working his way up, still gets the flick on nothing anyhow. Skadoodle quick trade at least, but in all of these frags, SK maintain the advantage as they come up into the last 20 seconds. Skadoodle, though, brings it right back in with this hop, and wow, what a back and forth affair. What's going to happen here in the 1v2, though?
Coldzera's playing a close angle, trying to get that no-scope. Oh, plant the first one to Stewie, who just didn't really seem to react to that whatsoever, and now Skadoodle comes back with a kill of his own. And Cloud9 just about hold on, but as you've already said, it came down to the wire again. And Skadoodle, who had very little impact in the first half, is starting to get those impact kills now, just when Cloud9 need it most.
Yeah, really big play out of him there to save the day. As that wasn't really a scary moment. Again, Fallen gets up close, he gets his pick onto nothing. Gives them a chance to get that bomb planted. Coldzera also had an opportunity there to even clutch it up again, but Skadoodle does hold them off. Just a back and forth affair does finally favor C9. They've won a couple of rounds in a row now. They've tied the game back up, but still SK have not run out of money. And all Fallen, I think he did spot a leg there. He's waiting for him to come back in the vision. Not going to come to fruition, however, so he's not going to get that chance, but there'll be plenty of more opportunities as there's still plenty of time on the clock here as SK spread the net.
11 apiece. Again, nothing to distinguish between these two teams. In terms of economy, it's almost identical too. Both teams in a very similar situation. So much rests on this. The fulcrum point of not just this map, but potentially the entire event. If Cloud9 win this, they will be the Subaru Invitational champions. SK now going to start to move together. They've got Phelps going through Ivy. He's going to try and run some interference, maybe a fake, while the rest of the team barrels their way through onto the site. Taco, an automatic. If this position doesn't get checked, he's going to go ham, and he indeed will with 2 kills with the spray down. The flashes are there as well to stop the push, and Cloud9 with a textbook brilliant defense on B. Nothing could have been done by SK. Now Phelps, who was originally the flanker, is now all that remains. The lone Brazilian up against Cloud9. And if Shroud doesn't take him, you assume that one of the other Cloud9 members will.
Yeah, Cloud9 will take the lead back finally. They've been fighting these past few rounds. Their backs have been up against the wall. It's come down to a lot of 1v1 situations or 2v1 situations. It's not been easy, but they've weathered it out. Now they will, here towards the end, at least pull around ahead. Great inner defense, as you noted. Just both playing up close on the lower ramp, using that barrels position or spools, whatever you want to call it. Very powerful stuff. Playing off of each other very well. Pretty rare you see two players commit to playing that close on inner. Obviously, it makes it difficult to rotate outer without doing some type of brown house flank if you do that, but a calculated risk that pays off with a higher reward, because now SK are just on a very low buy. Now, saying that, they've definitely posed a lot of problems in rounds like these.
Yes, even with worse buys than this, they have came out triumphant over Cloud9. That being said, they were on the CT side as opposed to the T side, where they could play more of a passive, sort of come at this bro mentality. It doesn't really work as well on the T half. But they have weapons that want to get up close and personal with these Tech 9s, the AK and the P250. And the double op set up against them, I'm not writing SK off just yet. The downside for them, though, they have no smokes. It's going to have to be flashes into a push. Phelps with the lone AK, again, is going to be trying to look around the back as he's going to push out. No smokes, no flashes, and he could get the drop on Skadoodle here. He was just a couple pixels away, but this is butt-clenchingly frustrating for Phelps, and he must be hating his life. He's like, Skadoodle, come on, bro, I had you dead to rights, mate. Stay still, let me kill you. Instead, SK are out on the B side. They are at least going to get a bomb plant, but you're expecting it to be another clean-up job by Cloud9.
That was quite the dance that was being dished out there between Phelps and Skadoodle, and you gotta think that if Phelps gets that kill, this could cause a lot of problems in the round, but he does come through. And while they can see the plant, they retake perfectly fine here. Will come through. Cloud9 will get to 13, and again, it really did come down to just another butt-clenching moment in the outer yard. There's been a lot of sneaking around going on in this game. People getting through T-Con, you know, unspotted up until right at the crucial moment. Brilliant. What a game.
We've been blessed tonight with a whole bunch of great maps. Not necessarily always for the right reasons. It has been entertaining stuff, and this map has delivered too. Cloud9, are there more twists and turns in this tale yet? Are SK going to bring us back into a nail-biting conclusion?
At this point, all bets are off. All logic is off the table at this point. A lot of these rounds have been super chaotic. Like you said, crazy twists and turns. It's like M. Night Shyamalan's out here writing the narrative of this game. But Cloud9 do have a couple of rounds banked up to hold on to a bit of a lead here. But here comes SK charging through into the outer yard.
Been here before. They've started to charge, but it hasn't really got too much speed just yet. The momentum is being cut off. The roadblock of Automatic and Nothing are chiming together and stopping players in their tracks. Automatic with another one, capitalizing on the flashbang, completely blinded out Fallen. And now it's all on Fur, but not for much longer. Cloud9 have navigated the way over one hurdle, two more potentially to go. And SK back into a horrible economy. They could go for a buy, but they'll have to come in with some UMPs. You have to feel here if they did, just for extra utility.
Yeah, definitely, and they have to though, right? I mean, Cloud9 are going on the series point. You feel like you have to go for this, and it does mean limited utility and no AWP, but certainly they have plenty of capable riflers on this team. And this, again, great hold by Cloud9, playing up close, using their utility very well to hold SK off, and then hitting some key shots in the opening duels. And so now they finally have potentially the tournament victory just a couple of steps away. Equal exchange so far on the inner yard here, but Fur cracks open the outer bomb site with Phelps, and now all of a sudden Cloud9 are up against the ropes in this round.
Impressive play. I thought they might go for some UMPs. They went for full AKs. It has been working for them so far. Skadoodle, 1 on 4, 31 health. The card stacked against him, and he will be put down. Will be another buy forthcoming with Shroud on 11k and Skadoodle on 11k. And Stu on 6.4, they can drop and get together a solid buy. So, SK not out of the woods just yet.
Well, certainly not. And if anything, They're doing some rebuying here, so money could be very low when Cloud9 goes for the win if they can take this round. So that is something to keep in mind, but they do have a really good buy here. This is even better than last round. They have the op, they have all the utility. Taco wasting no time sprinting out and just running it all the way back towards Ivy. He has not even really been spotted either. So much chaos in the outer yard.
But in amongst all the chaos, you'll find Automatic in a sea of terrorists. He is the lone island that Cloud9 have got to hope and pray on. It won't be happening. Skadoodle at last second sees a second player peeking him. I think that threw off his aim. And it would appear that we are going to have some more twists and turns yet, Dust, because Cloud9, if they lose this round, they're going to have no economy. You'd expect to see it come to 14 apiece, but Shroud is still alive in this one, and he quickly decides it's probably a player pushing behind me, goes for the preemptive spray. 2-on-2 now. They have a kit in Stewie's hands, and also an AWP. He's going in for more, going to try the spray down onto a couple of players that are peeking. Falling gets headshot out from Shroud. Is this clutch a reality? Is this possible? CLOUD9 just has to play the time and this round will be his. And indeed it shall, but what an attempt from Shroud. NT. But it will go the way of SK.
The way this game is played out, you'd like to give Shroud the chance there, the way things were playing out. He definitely got in a couple of really good frags to make it close, but in the end, couldn't find Cold fast enough. The clock his enemy, and we're still going down this rather treacherous road of a game, as it is 13-14. Money low on C9. They have the one rifle Shroud saved, but that's it. SK, great chance to tie things up. And again, map 3 could still very well happen the way things are going at this point. That's what SK is playing for, to try to see if they can move along. Nothing. You're not finding a Zeus kill against that bunch.
Firing squad will beat the Taser. He always goes for those kind of purchases, though. He actually got a Zeus kill earlier today. He's cheeky with that. Cloud9 back onto just the M4 of Shroud, who so bravely fought against a whole bunch of Brazilians in the last rounds.
Nothing can do there except for take a little bit of a laugh. If anything, saving Shroud's M4 again is gotta be a priority. Now that inner yard's been taken, they'll hear the bomb going down shortly. Gotta hold on to that. Money's still very low. He has a kit as well. Shroud has so much he can save here. And he could probably even drop somebody a gun in the next round. So that's going to be the focus here. So we'll be tied up. No question about that. It's about whether or not Shroud can carry over the gun. Not going to happen. Phelps here to clear it out. That hurts a bit. In fact, it hurts a lot.
Oh, but what would remedy the situation is if Automatic can sneak an AWP out of this.
What in the world?
No, he's going to get picked off from the backside. Cloud9 do have an AK in the hands of Skadoodle, and the P250 up close and personal will not best Phelps. They do hold on to an AK, but unfortunately for Cloud9, it's not multiple assault rifles, it's just the one. It was looking like for a second there, maybe they could have saved an AWP, which would have been a real body blow to SK.
Dude, if Automatic gets one more kill, they might have still had a chance to win the round, it seemed like. There wasn't much left there for SK inside the inner yard to stop Automatic from just barreling through if he finds another frag. That almost got really scary. Nonetheless, we are tied up at 14. And Cloud9 still able to piece together a pretty solid buy thanks to the way they've approached the last couple of rounds with their money.
Oh.
Spots that leg, doesn't quite hit it though.
Not far off though, was it?
Ooh, nothing.
And he has the in-game IQ to realize, I need to get the hell out of here because I have no backup at all. And he would have been dead had he just stayed in position there. Nothing would have definitely got him. So smart to get the hell out of that. This does mean that nothing has control over team main though, which in itself is pretty important for Cloud9 when they consider they only have one kit and very few nades left.
Fallen really gonna check this corner with the AWP. Oh my goodness, you could slice this with a knife at this point.
And this is such a key point as well. If either of these players go down, it gives a huge advantage to the opposite number. It seems like they both decide to peace out of there instead. So nothing ventured, nothing gained for either team. Still, with 40 seconds left, all 10 players remain. All 10 players on full health too. Gotta feel that SK should be in the driver's seat considering the lack of utility the Cloud9 have. They do still have 2 incendiaries though, it should be mentioned, but it's more like the lack of kits that could be the issue. 25 seconds now. This is getting into the realms where all Cloud9 need to do is just get a spray off and a couple players to fall, and the round could be theirs. And it could be nothing. That's Gadul that are going to go and do just that. The bomb is no longer heading towards the site. It has to relocate. You think twice about this one. Taco and Cold0 both come through with kills, and now they can start to make the trek along to the site. Big kill from Taco on the site itself. And although Shroud has put down Fallen, there's still another 2 players on the site side. Shroud with another headshot, leaving Cold0 with just 2 health remaining. He's using the close angle to his advantage. The bomb not quite planted in the position you'd expect from this position itself. But both Shroud and Automatic are checking everywhere apart from where Cold0 is. This is valuable time that's being whittled down. And Shroud doesn't have anyone to help him out here. But Cold0 is whiffed and it's going to cost him the round at such a vital moment as well. And Cloud9 will take the lead once more.
And in all the confusion, they make sure the guy with the kit gets on the bomb. At least that doesn't come back to haunt them. And so Cloud9, they do find series points. A lot of props to nothing. He was holding on to T-Con position for so long. He never overextended. He waited for the perfect timing to make a play, gets Fur, eliminates that portion of the attack, and Shroud manages Ivy so well in all of that, staying alive, coming through later on, and closing out the round for his team. And so Cloud9, they might just do it. They're going to get one chance to end it 2-0. SK looking just to force the overtime, just forcing a chance to try to get to a 3rd map. This has been such a great game. And here it comes.
Just a deagle for Fallen as well, Dust. No kit, nothing. Kevlar, I should say, or nothing now, nothing. Himself is going to go to town, and Phelps is going to be the player to fall. Automatic is in prime position to strike, spots Cold0. It looks like the days of SK numbered as Cloud9 are going to town. They're picking up kills all over the place. Shroud's going to come in with another one, and now it's all on Fallen. He's got this deagle in hand. This would be one hell of a clutch to pick off. Such a huge moment in time as well. He's going to take the AK, and he's going to try and run with it, but he gets put down, and Cloud9 will win the Subaru Invitational and Are Your Champions. An upset shock. It's 2-0 for the NA side.
Phenomenal stuff. They deal SK their first loss on Cobble since Phelps joined the team. They were 12-0 and they walked into this grand final, and they walk away 12-1. Not only that, but they lose at the best of 3 to Cloud9 overall and allow Cloud9 to be the champions. Really well done. Congrats to Cloud9. They take home the 10K. SK will have to settle for 2nd and 5. And obviously our other semifinal teams will take home the 2,500. Again, you can also take home something for yourself if you want to get involved in the giveaway. Click the image down below, giving away a PC setup valued at nearly $2,500. The Revolt computer, the Logitech gear, the Asus monitor. Be sure to get in on that, as this is your last chance to do so. Also, be sure to give a shout to Subaru using the hashtag Subaru Invitational over at Subaru_USA. This was their first tournament in CSGO. It's great to see them involved. I'm sure they want to get involved more, so definitely give them your feedback. Let you know what you think. Let them know what you'd like to see next from them. But that about does it. Again, a huge hats off to C9, as they will be your champs. Definitely got to be something that builds up their confidence a bit, shows them that they've made some progress. I know it's not the same as winning a big offline title, but it's still a pretty good victory. And I'll give you the last word, Metis.
Mate, it's 3 in the morning, but I'm still amped at how sick that Counter-Strike was. We got really lucky with a bunch of those maps, but Cloud9, they deserved it. Nothing. I just want to highlight nothing. A guy that's come under a lot of fire for his performance, for his stats. He was their standout player on both maps. He was the guy that, if you look at statistics-wise, combined, was the guy that really carried them. So, massive congrats to nothing. Massive congrats to Cloud9. What a sick couple of maps that we got to cast there.
That'll do it. Again, if you want to give us a follow as well, you can follow at DustMoret and at OnFireMetis. Again, stay tuned onto this channel in the future for potential events. I'm sure Subaru will be firing them off in the near future. We appreciate all of you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and we'll catch you next time. But this is Dustin Metis signing out. See you again soon, hopefully.
Love.
I got you, baby.
It's being there when you're needed most. Love is knowing
It's the one.
it was meant to be. And love always keeps you safe.
We're fine.
Love is why we built a car you can trust, now and for a long time to come. The all-new Subaru Impreza sedan and 5-door. A car you can love, no matter what road you're on. The Subaru Impreza. More than a car, it's a Subaru.
Hey bud, you need some help?
No, I'm good. Come on, Mom. I have to go.
We always trusted our Subaru Impreza would be there for him someday.
Hey, that's it.
We just didn't think someday would come so fast.
See you later, Mo.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Impreza, the longest-lasting vehicle in its class. More than a car, it's a Subaru.